Okay. Well, very good morning, guys. So last day we just been talking about how to handle client errors, right? So how to handle the server errors we have looked into, and the next thing what we require to learn is how to handle the client errors. How client errors are going to be handled. See, to handle the client errors, as I said you in the last session, ఇది ఎప్పుడు తెప్పిస్తావు నాని క్లాస్ ఉంటున్నాను నేనంతా ఏం చేస్తున్నావు Okay. So what you do is you're just going to is where I stopped it. So you say customer errors mode is equals to on. Afterwards, you can use status code based errors, things like 400 means what is it? It's a bad request. HTTP status codes. Uh, 400 indicates a bad request. 401 unauthorized. 402 payment required. 403 forbidden. 404 not found. Method not allowed. Like this, we just have different status code. So what to do now? I want a different view to launch for each status code. It is a 400. I want one page to show. 401 one page to show. 402 one page to show. Like this, I want different pages. For all server errors, one page will come. That's already we clarified about it. What is that? Error.cshtml. That's implicitly called. But for client errors, I just want to go with a different error page here. So how to do that? If at all you want a different error page for each and every client error, do one thing. Define a new controller in the project. Name the controller as error controller. Okay, error controller. Now in this, public view result bad request. The method name is bad request. Simply I'll say return view. Now design this view, guys. Design this view, and in this view, just to put up the appropriate code. If it's a bad request, what message do you want to show to the user? Just to design the view now. Are you clear? And now what you'll do, come to web.config, and in the web.config write down what / error controller. What is the action method name? Bad request. So whenever there is a 400 status code error, where it goes now? It'll call the action method bad request. And now what you'll do? In the bad request action method, just right click on it, add view, and just design a view now. And in this view, what is that you're expecting? What message are you expecting? Just to put up the message what you're expecting there. Are you clearer? Like this, for every status code, try to create one action method. What is it? Unauthorized payment, whatever it is. See, I'm just trying to write for 401. 401 is unauthorized. 402 is payment required. 403 is forbidden. 404 is not found. Array, you do for rest all the things you try to perform it. Now come here to the web.config, start writing. What is 401? Unauthorized. So it should launch you. It should call the unauthorized action method. 402, payment required. It should call the payment required. 403, forbidden. You should call the forbidden here. 404, not found. Understood? Like this for all the status codes, try to write one method and launch a view. And you can design different views for it. No, sir, I want the same view to be launched. You want the same view, call the same action method. That's all. If you call the same action method, calls the same view. But here I'm trying to call a different action method so that a different view comes for each and everything. So now the next thing what you're required to do is you're required to add a view for each and every action method. Unauthorized, add view. Same way. Payment required, add view. Forbidden. Not found. Yeah. Say I'll design this view. I'll design this view. Forbidden. For forbidden, I'll design the view. What is it? Page not found now. Just observe it. I'm designing a view now. Okay, the requested page is either not available or moved to different location, or it is under construction or maintenance. Something is happening here, I don't know. So there is a problem, so I'm not able to show that. Now run, guys. Run the home controller. Yes, status, no, error code is not there. Error code is wrong. Status code, that's all. Home. I want to call a action method with the name called test. But remember here, we did not define any action method with the name called test now. Correct? So what is the status code now? 404. Correct? So it is just hitting you and launching you. The page not found page now. See that? Like this, you try to design a page for each and every error. For each and every error, try to design one page now. If that error comes, automatically it goes to that page. This is the process to handle the client errors. And talking about server errors, guys, remember for server errors, I already shown you. What is that? For all server errors, what will happen? It will go to this page. Which page? Error.cshtml. It will go to error.cshtml page. So in the error.cshtml page, you will be able to capture, you will be able to display the error messages for it. This is for server errors, and this is all for client errors. Clearer, huh? Okay. Say basically you're using handle error on divide numbers, handle error and show view. So these particular methods only will handle the errors. But if there is any error in the other places, errors are not handled. Are you getting me? So to resolve it, whether what you do, go for controller level. Don't write here. If you write only specific to this, so go to the top of the controller, and on the controller write what? So what happens? It applies to all the action methods now. I'm talking with you only. I think you're sleeping in the classroom. Respond here. Okay. So you should apply it in the controller level. If you apply in the controller level, this is applied to all the action methods. If I apply action method level, that is specific to the action method. If I apply controller level, that is going to be common for all the action methods that are available in your code. So it is applicable to all the action methods that are available in the code now. So that's what the difference you happen applying it controller level and applying it action method level. Okay. So yeah. Controller level. Top of it. But tomorrow, guys, listen, if at all I have 10 or 20 controllers, 10 or 20 controllers, I require to use it on the top of all the controllers now. Are you getting my point or not? I require to use it on the top of all the controllers now. If that is the case, you have an option of applying application level. So 3 options here. 1, action method level, specific to that action method. 2, controller level, to that controller only. For other controllers, it won't. Again, for every controller, you require to write a handler. Third option is application level. What is that application level? Application level in the sense, if you use it application level, this filter will apply for all the controllers in the project. No need to write handle error on the top of every controller. That's what we call as application level. How do we do that application level? If at all you want to do that application level, listen. Actually, you remember in the app start here, route config, we'll discussed about bundle config. Like this, there is a concept called a filter config also. Because I opened an empty project, filter config is not coming. If you open an MVC project, filter config will be present automatically. Did you understand me? Because why I opened is a blank project is for that reason only. Okay, if you open a MVC project, filter config is automatically available. I did not open because that automatically comes. I want to show you how to use that manually. So, if at all you want anything application level, okay, just like you have route config, bundle config, you can also add a filter config.cs in your code. Okay, let's do that. So now we are trying what? Application level. You want application level means first to remove it on the top of the controller. Now see, there is no handle error anywhere. There is no handle error anywhere. And because there is no handle error anywhere, now, home, divide nums, and click on divide. So you got the yellow screen now. You got the yellow screen in this case now. If you don't declare status code client errors also take shared folder. No, it won't take. Last class I showed you now, it won't take. If you don't have status code based, it won't take you there. It will show you the actual error messages. It won't show you the error.csshtm. So no error handling code is there. So that's it is going to yellow screen again. It is going to the yellow screen. Okay. Now what you do is, in the abstract folder, add a new class. Or better take a code file. Take a code file. Name it as filter config. Filter config.cs. We have route config now, just same way we are having now, filter config now. Okay. Namespace. What is namespace? MVC filters. Our project name is only the namespace name always. MVC filters. Public class filter config. Public class filter config. See, just like public class route config, now we have public class filter config. Okay. Here we have a static method called register routes now. Yes or not? Same like this, now you are required to write a method called register filters. Register global filters. The name is register global filter. Recollect yourself. Once I said bundle config, the method name is register bundles. When I explained to you about bundle config, the method name is register bundles. This is register routes, register bundles. Same way register filters, but not filters here. Register global filters is the action method, is the method what you require to define. So public static void register global filters. Okay, register global filters. Now you look here. This is taking a parameter. What is that? Route collection. It is taking a parameter called route collection. Here it will take you filter collection, I remember. Yeah, global filter collection. What it takes is global filter collection. Global filter collection. Actually, this is defined in MVC namespace. So it automatically imported. See here, you said what? Route collection routes. Same way here, global filter collection. Any name of your choice. You can give any name of your choice. Same like routes there. I'm giving the name as, that's a variable name here. Any name can be used. Okay. You just check it out. When I explained you bundle config also, I said you the same concept only. There, register bundles. And there we have bundle collection bundles. Here, filter collection filters. Clearer? Now here, you just required to write the code. What? Filters dot add. Filters dot add. And here you require to add your filter now. You require to add the filter now. What filter? Handle error, correct? What is filter? Handle error. How do you write here? New handle error attribute. Actual class name is this one here. You require to create the instance of that class. Which class? Handle error attribute is the class name. So you're required to just create the instance of the class and add it. Handle error attribute. So this is the first thing what you're required to do. Okay, have a look. Just again, import your system.web.mvc namespace because global filter collection is present there. Namespace, MVC filters. Next, filter config, method name, register global filter. What is the parameter it takes? Global filter collection filters. And next, filters dot add a new handle error attribute. Are you clearer? Okay. The second thing you're required to do is, do you remember the next step? You're required to call this method now. Where you call global dot asx. So go to global.asx. Just here see route config.register route. Same way. Filter config dot register global filters. Register global filters. What to pass? You just require to pass filter it is global filters dot filters. Just like here you call route tables dot routes. Here what you should call? Recollect yourself. Bundle bundle table dot bundles. All will be same pattern here. Bundle table dot bundles. Here global filters dot filters. So this is how you apply application level. Okay now. Now after applying application level, come on, let us run our home controller again. Home, divide nums. Hundred, 0, handle. Is that clear? So three options. Action method level. We call it a block level. Second one, controller level. We call it a class level. We call it a class level. Third one, application level. That is application level. Application level, there are two steps. First step, you're required to define a filter config class and you're required to write a static method register global filters. Second step, you're required to go to global.asx. In the global.asx, you're required to call this method. In the global.asx, you're required to call this method. Just call the method in global.asx. Once you call the method in global.asx, automatically that comes into picture. Is it clear or not? So this is how exactly we just perform or we just do the things. Okay. So this is about the filtering also. So what we learned? First one, what was first filter? Child action only. Second filter, output cache. Third filter, validate input. Fourth one, validate anti-forgery key. Fifth one, handle error. The fifth one is a handle error. Okay, now the sixth one is authorize and the seventh one is allow anonymous. The sixth one is authorize here and the seventh one is allow anonymous. These are the other two filters we have. These two filters are basically associated with authentication and authorization process. These two filters are associated with authentication and authorization process. I'll tell you. First, understand. You're designing an application here. You see, you saw Facebook. If you go to Facebook, if at all you want to access Facebook, the first thing what you're required to do is you're required to register yourself. So there is a registration form. After registration is completed, you have a login form. You need to log into the application. Then only you can see the data. That basically, when you open the login form, you enter your user ID password and validate yourself. That process is what we call as authentication. So authentication is a process of verifying the user credentials. That is whether the user is going to be a valid user or not. That is what we call as authentication. Are you clear? Okay. Next step is authorization. What is authorization? I explained to you guys already in the previous day, remember. Authorization means, authorization is a process of verifying whether an authenticated user has a permission to perform an action or not. Whether an authenticated user has a permission to perform an action or not. That's what we call as authorization. I've given you an example, see. In the morning, a clerk, a manager, both are authenticated before they enter into the office. Correct? But when you come to the office, whatever the manager does, a clerk cannot do. The manager can sign on the company checkbook. The manager can give an appointment letter. The manager can take an interview. Can the client do all the, can the clerk do all these things? No. Why? Authorization comes into picture. Authorization means, authorization is a process of verifying whether an authenticated user, understand carefully, whether an authenticated user has a permission to perform an action or not. That is what we call as authorization. What comes first, authentication or authorization? Louder. First the user should be authenticated, afterwards authorized. First we'll talk about authentication, guys. Authentication. Basically when you talk about authentication, here we have different types of authentications available. Like what? Anonymous authentication, Windows authentication, Forms authentication, Open authentication. Basically, ASP.NET supports you 4 different types of authentications here. What are the 4? Anonymous authentication, Windows authentication, Forms authentication, Open authentication. What is anonymous authentication? Anonymous authentication means here, the meaning of this particular thing is, there is no authentication. Every day, we are running our applications in that anonymous authentication only. Every day, we are running our applications in the anonymous authentication only. Anonymous in the sense, there is no authentication. So by default, we are not having any authentication, and that's called anonymous authentication. The default is always anonymous. Are you clear? So I'll show you. Can I host my application in IIS? Array, we are running an IIS Express. Can we host it on IIS or not? So let us host. If you want to host an IIS, the first thing what you're required to do is you're required to just open your Studio in admin mode. Okay, let me close this. Now let me open Visual Studio in the administrator mode. Right click, run as administrator. Here, open the project. Fine, open Solution Explorer. Right click on the project, go to Properties. In the left hand side, you'll be finding an option called Web. Now scroll down, here you find servers, and right now it is running in. Change to local IIS. After changing to local IIS, what you're required to do? Create a virtual directory. Now what happens? It is going to add this MVC filters under the default website. It will add you under the default website. So go to IIS Manager now. Now if you go to IIS Manager, open the default website. Yeah. MVC filters. Right now, this project doesn't have authentication at all. In a sense, anyone can open this application. So there is no authentication, there is no authorization, nothing is available here. Did you understand me or not? So by default, all your applications runs in anonymous authentication. How to see that? Watch. Is your project now? Now come to the right side. Here you'll find, click on that. It will show you the different types of authentications. Watch it. What is enabled? Anonymous authentication is enabled, which means your application is right now running in an anonymous authentication. Are you clearer? Okay. For example, now guys, try to run this project. Now guys, it's not running in local IIS. Sorry, not running in IIS Express. It's running in local IIS. You can check. With IIS Express, you'll be finding a port number here. But now you're running in a, what you're running? You're running in a local IIS now. You're just going to run in a local IIS in this context. Am I clearer? Okay. So it's just going to run in the local IIS. Okay. So how to call? Localhost. MVC filters, MVC filters, home, get departments. What is the method name, guys? Oh, it is display departments. The error page is not coming 404. This error is coming. The error page is not coming. Why? The reason why the error page is not coming is because your URL changed now. Why, sir? Array. Remember, if you're running an IIS Express, what is the URL? HTTP localhost colon port number / controller name action method name. If you're running an IIS, HTTP localhost no port number, but you will have virtual directory name, MVC filters, that name. So here, what is missing is, that is missing. That's why it is not opening. So what is that? MVC filters should come now. MVC filters is our virtual directory name. Under that, error. Okay, what is the difference? Their port number will be here, virtual directory name will be. Okay. Run. So right now by default it will search for home, index, correct? Not available. That's why see now you got page not found. Are you clearer? Okay. So what I just wanted to show is, I want to call the home controller. What is that, guys? Display departments. So you understand there are no restrictions now to access the pages. Anyone can access the page. And this is what we call as anonymous authentication. By default, you are running an anonymous authentication. It is not asking for any username. It is not asking for any password. Nothing it was asking, directly opening up the page. Okay. In anonymous authentication here, to access the pages, basically there will be one user account. IS will use that user account inbuilt. What is the username? The username is IUSR. What is the username? IUSR is a user account, and that is available with anonymous authentication. So all users will be connected to this with the same credentials. Means we don't require to supply. It will use that account automatically. It will use that account automatically. For example, you see here, you right click on this and go for edit, and here it will show you the user. Are you clear? This is the user what it uses automatically for an anonymous authentication. Okay. So means that user is created with open. Means everyone can use that. No issues. But see now, right click on this and say disable. Now is there any authentication policy? All authentication policies are disabled, see? Because all are disabled. Now come to your application. Try to run the home controller again. There should be some authentication policy. There should be some authentication policy. Right now there is no authentication policy. So by default, what is the authentication policy? Anonymous. So that is also disabled. There is no authentication policy now. Because there is no authentication policy it is telling, you can't access the application at all. Are you clear with anonymous? There is nothing to explain for you with anonymous, because from day one till now, what you are using is anonymous authentication only. Don't forget that. From day one, all the days what you are using is only anonymous authentication. So because you guys are using anonymous authentication, there is no separate authentication policy for this. It's going to be an open, everyone can use this authentication in automatically. I hope you guys are clearer. Okay, so this is an anonymous authentication. What is the second one? The second one is Windows authentication. What is this Windows authentication? Actually, Windows authentication means it is as same as your Windows authentication in SQL Server. It is as same as the Windows authentication in SQL Server. You remember the Windows authentication in SQL Server? What is Windows authentication in SQL Server? It uses Windows user accounts to connect to the server. It uses the Windows user accounts to connect to the server. In Windows authentication, it won't ask you the username and password. Reason? Because already when you logged into the computer, you already supplied the username and password here. Did you catch my point or not? Already when you log in into the computer, you supplied your username and password. Because the username and password are already supplied, what is going to happen? It will directly use that user account and connect it to SQL Server. That's why in Windows authentication, it will never ask you for the credentials because you already supplied at the time of login. So the same Windows authentication will be used here also. What is it? It uses Windows user accounts to log in into the application. Okay. And guys, remember, this authentication cannot be used in internet-based applications. You can use it only in the intranet-based applications. You know the difference between intranet and internet? What is intranet? Engineering students, you have networking in your academics basically. You don't know what is intranet? Intranet means within the organization. Intranet means within the organization. You're working in a company. The company has 500 employees. All the 500 employees are in the network. All the 500 employees are in the network. and that is what we call as intranet. Got it? Internet means global. And this Windows authentication cannot be used in internet based. Where you can use intranet based only. Means within the organization only this can be used. Means I have an application here designed as a web application, but that is not open for all. That is only for employees of the organization. Okay? 500 employees are there. All the 500 employees are connected in the network. Now on the server machine, the application is hosted. So all the 500 clients can access the application. But when they go home, they cannot access it again. They can access it only within the organization. That's what we call intranet based. Point clearer? Huh? That's what we call as intranet based. When you have intranet based, at that particular point of time, you can use this Windows authentication. Not suitable for internet based, because for internet, how can I use Windows authentication? Not possible. Nah, that is within the organization only, Windows credentials can be validated. You are somewhere in US and you don't have a user account to connect to my network now. Clearer? Third one, forms authentication. That is authentication what is used 99% in your web applications. What is that? Forms authentication means here we'll have a registration page first. After the registration page, you'll have a login page. And all your data gets stored in a database. When your login page opens, you'll enter a user ID password. You're validated and uses. Your Facebook, Google, Amazon, Flipkart, all these applications uses forms authentication. 99% that is only used. The fourth one is open authentication. What is open authentication? You know that. Today, in all the websites, you have this option. What is it? You open Amazon here. You don't have an Amazon account. You opened Amazon, but you don't have an Amazon account. No need to create an Amazon account. There is an option available there. What is it? Login with Google. Login with Facebook. You find these two options now? Yes or not? That is called open authentication. That is called as open authentication. So default is anonymous. I already shown you. That is anonymous authentication. I already explained you. What I am going to show you now is Windows and Forms. Open authentication I will show you in MVC core. Are you clear? I'm not touching open authentication now. I'm going to show you open authentication in the MVC core. Here, let me show you Windows and Forms authentication. I don't again cover this Windows authentication in the MVC core. There I will focus on open authentication basically. So I'm trying to cover all the things, but different places I'm using different things. Here, let me show you Windows and Forms authentication. Okay. So the first open authentication, and see I shown you this one, the default user account, IUSR, and by default all your applications will be running in the anonymous authentication. Now let's try to use the Windows authentication. In Windows authentication, what happens? Yeah, in Windows authentication, what happens? In Windows authentication, users are connected through the Windows credentials. For example, let me show you. I'm going to create a new project. Close this. Visual Studio. New, oh, just a minute. I want to host an IESCR, so run in administrator mode. Right click. Run as. All of you be careful. When you want to host an IES, it should be in the administrator mode. New project. ASP.NET web application. I'm giving the name as MVC app with Windows Auth. MVC app with Windows Auth. Create empty project, selecting MVC template. Now what you'll do is host it on IES now. Host it on IES. How to do? Right click on the project, go to properties. In the left hand side, select web. Now in the right hand side, select local IES and then click on create virtual directory and save. Now you come to IES and here refresh. Are you clear? Now on the right side, select authentication. Now come here. Anonymous authentication. Right click, disable. Windows authentication. Right click, enable. Now I enable the Windows authentication now. Is the process clear? Okay. So now you're running on which authentication? The Windows authentication. Your application is running on the Windows authentication now. Okay. Now let's go for adding a controller in my project. I am naming it as home controller. Okay. Just guys, look, I'm adding two more controllers here. One is manager controller. Manager controller. And one is staff controller. Staff controller. Now basically home controller is the home page here. In this home page, I want 4 links on it. I want 4 links on it. Sorry, 4 action methods on it. What are the 4 action methods? 4 action methods means 4 views will launch. What are the 4 action methods? Public, just a minute, not 4 action methods. Just have a look. There is an action method here. What is the action method? Index. So whenever I run the home controller, what should launch? Index has to launch. It has to launch the index. Right click, add view. This is the index here. Now in the index page here, actually my requirement is the home page of the site. When this home page opens, it has to show me 4 links now. 1, manager home page. 2, manager help page. 3, staff home page. 4, staff help page. So I want to provide 4 action links now. I want to give 4 action links now. Okay, just a second. Yeah. What is the title I'm giving? This is the site home page here. First this will open. Whenever you run, first this will open. This is the site home page. Okay now. And afterwards, what I want, I'm using H2, site home page. And here, I want to place the action links. I want to place all the action links. I'm using H4 @HTML dot action link. What should open? Manager home page. The text is manager home page, comma. When you click on this, it has to call an action method now. It has to call a action method now. The name of the action method is index. Second, controller name. The second one is the controller name. I want to provide a controller name. My controller name is, are you clear? Tell me here. So this is what I just want. Okay. So I just wanted to open like the manager home page, and here, what is it? Control element manager. Index is the name. Same like this. Can you add one more? Help page. Method name, help. Here also, I want to give up the method name as home here. Did you understand? So if I click on this link, where it has to take? Manager home page. If I click on this, where it has to take? Manager help page. Next. No more. What? Staff home page, staff help page. Controller, staff. Now understood? In the manager controller, you're required to write 2 action methods. In the staff, you're required to write 2 action methods, correct? Now go to manager controller. Here you need to write 2 action methods. Help me. First one, public, view result, home. Return view. Public, view result, help. Return view. And the same thing now you need in staff also. Go to staff. Here also you do it. Now you're required to add the views or not? You're required to add the views now. Come on. First view. For manager, home. Right click, add view. Add view. And here, what are the title I'm giving, in the first one, see here, what did he give? Site home page. Here, manager home page. Okay, here, you see, what is the text you are given? Site home page is what I given. Now here what I'm writing, manager home page. Okay now, and guys here my intentions are simple. I just wanted to show a message. What is the message? Who is the user that connected to this? Who is the user that connected? How to get it? HTTP context user refers to the user account. .identity.name will tell you the username. Suppose on your computer you're logging with your name now. Yes or not? On my computer, if I log in with my name Bangar Raju, that is only what it shows me there. I hope you guys are clear. That's what it is going to show there. This will show you the name of the user. And one more thing I'm adding there, guys. Watch. Back to site home page. Where it is going to come now? Home index. Clearer? Same way. Now add a help view. Right click. Add view. Is a help view. What do you write? Copy this code as it is. Come here. Paste here. Change the code. Manager help page. Manager help page. Here also. Manager help page. And here also what it shows? The username. Back to home page. Okay. What next? Come to staff controller. Right click. Add view. Come on, change this. What? Staff home page. Staff home page. This is same only. Next. What is this? Staff help page. Staff help page. Right, there's nothing rocket science here. Here simple things. I taken 3 controllers, home page, navigating to different places. That's all. What should I run first? Site home page. What should I run first? Site home page. Okay. So site home page. Site home page is home index is default. Nah. If I simply use HTTP localhost, my virtual directory name, what should open? Home controller, index action method. See the URL in the address bar. I'm not pointing to any controller. I'm not pointing to any action method. If you don't point to anything by default, the site home page will open now. Watch. Which controller this is? Home controller. Now when you click on manager home page, where is it going? Watch where it went. Manager home. And all of you guys see that username now. What is this? My computer name, not server, my computer name. And this is my username. I logged into my computer by using the user account admin. And you guys know that I already shown you an IES already to you. When I explained IES, I already shown you. This is the name of your computer. And this is the user account with which you connected to this now. Server/admin. What next here? We have an option here. Back to, when we click on this, again it will take you to home page. Next one. Manager help page. Next. Staff home page. Next. Staff help page. Are you clear? Right now, we have enabled Windows authentication, correct? Yes or not? When you enable the Windows authentication here, all Windows users can access it. What is it? All Windows users can access it. Right now, I connected to my machine. I connected by using what? Admin. I can access all the pages, no restriction. Suppose tomorrow if a new user comes now, the new user also can access all these pages now. The new user also can access all the pages. How to test it? Create a new user account in the Windows. Create a new user account under Windows. How do I do? Search for computer management. Search for computer management. Computer management on your computer. Okay, I given the notes here. Yes, follow it carefully. Open the computer management. In the computer management, it's loading. Wait. Yeah, this is the computer management. In the computer management, in the left hand side, you'll find local users and groups. If you select the users, it will show you the user accounts what I have. See, this is the user account what I'm using to connect now. Are you clearer or not? This is the user account what I'm just using here. Now I want a new user account. Right click. New user. I want to create a user with a name called Raju. In the full name, I'm giving it as Pangar Raju. Description. This is a new user account. This is a new user account. Password. I'm giving a password 123456. Confirm password 123456. And see here the checkboxes are the user must change password and next login. What is it telling is when the user logs in, password must be changed. No, I don't want it. Remove it. Here are option there. Password cannot be. User cannot change the password. I'm selecting this option. And also an option. Password will never expire. Don't select this. Account is disabled. Don't select this one. So did you understand? Click on create. A new user account is created. See. Are you clear? Now guys, do one thing. What do you do, Go to your computer. Here, you just watch it. In the bottom, it will show you the user account with which you logged in. When you click on that, you'll find an option to log in with the new user. If I click on this, it will sign out of the current user and opens you a login window to log in by using the new user account. Are you clearer or not? Now just log in. Open your browser. HTTP localhost / your virtual directory name. Just give it. When you give it, what will open? Home controller index. But what is the username? It will show you server/Raju. Now it is showing you server/admin. Then what it will show you? Server/Raju. I cannot show you. The reason why I cannot show you is nothing here. Actually, if I show this one, it will sign out of, it will just immediately sign out of the Zoom now. If I change the user account, it will sign out of Zoom now. That's why I'm not doing to show you. Understood the process now? Try it out. Create a user account, all of you. After creating the user account, log in with the new user into your application. After logging into the new user with the application, open your browser and just what you'll do, HTTP localhost. What is the name of the virtual directory? My project name only. A little bit lengthy name. Access it. What will open? Home controller index. Then you will find manager home page. Click on it. It will open here and the username will be shown as server/Raju. Manager help page, staff home page, staff help page. Like this, you can access all the things now. Then what is the security, sir? I'll tell you. So now this is all authentication. This is all authentication. Authentication means a valid user can access the site. And what I said to you, this is available only for intranet based applications but cannot be used on internet based. So try to create 2 or 3 accounts, log in, everything works. And the username will be showing you differently. Did you understand Windows authentication? I'm not done. Did you understand Windows authentication now? Yes or not? But the point here is, you notice one thing, all users are able to access my application now. All Windows users can access my application. Right now, admin can access, Raju can access. Tomorrow, you create one more account now. Let's create one more account here. New user. I'm giving the name as Venkat. Okay. Full name Venkat Krishna. Venkat Krishna. Something. Venkat Krishna. Description. Again, I'm giving some description. This is a new user account. Password I'll give 654321. 654321. Just a reverse it. Just uncheck this. Create. And guys, come on, watch it here. Got it? Now try to log in with the new user account. When you try to log in with the new user account, also all pages will open. Clear? Understood now till now? Now, the doubt you'll have is, sir, where is the security now? Everyone is able to access all the pages? Yes, everyone is able to access. You completed your authentication now. The next stage is authorization. What is that authorization? Authorization is, I want to give access. I want to give access to the manager homepage only for managers and the staff homepage only for staff members. Did you get my point or not? So what is my requirement? You see here, this is the manager homepage. This manager homepage should be accessible only to managers. Manager help page, all. Staff homepage only for staff. Staff help page for all. Got the point? Now just watch it. This is the manager homepage. Here, I'm adding a statement. What is that statement? Are you clear? Same way, come to manager help page. Here I'm adding a statement. This page is accessible to everyone. This page is accessible to everyone. Now come to staff home page. This page is accessible only to staff members. Only to staff members. Staff help page. This page is accessible to everyone. Are you clear? If I put comments here, no use. If I put comments here, don't think like it will give you the access. Just I added a comment there, that's it. Understood me? So manager homepage should be accessible only to manager. Staff homepage should be accessible only to staff. Now see, we have 2 user accounts now. In that, let us assume Raju is a manager, Venkat is a staff member. Let us assume like Raju is a manager in the organization. Venkat is a staff member. Clearer? Now see, come to manager controller. Now tell me, this method should be accessible to whom? Only manager. Who is the manager now? Raju. And come to staff controller. This method should be accessible to whom? Only to staff. And right now, who is the staff? Venkat is treated as a staff. What you do now, you know? Watch. Now comes authorization. Watch. Authorize. Use the authorize attribute. And here, specify the user. Server slash Raju. Authorize an attribute, I think. Basically, slash is an escape character. Already in C# I said you double slash. Slash only, but it is an escape character, so use double slash. You understood now? Authorized. Now, what about the second method? If you don't specify anything on that, that is called as anonymous. You did not tell anything now? That runs in anonymous access now. That runs in anonymous access, but still, you want to be clear. Someone looks into the code, should understand this method is anonymous. You can use the filter. Even you don't use also, it works. Even you don't use also, that is default. See now, what is the 6th and the 7th filter? 6th filter is authorize, 7th filter is allow anonymous. Even if you don't write that also, default is allow anonymous only. Are you clearer or not? Okay, I will prove you. Watch. I'm not writing, guys. I'm not writing. When should I write? I'll tell you clearly. Now let us come to staff controller. This should be accessible only to staff, right? Correct? Come on. Authorize. What should I write? Users equals to server slash. What is that? Suresha? Venkata? Venkat. Venkat. Sir, if you have multiple users, comma separated list. If you have multiple users, comma separated list. You can give a comma separated list if at all you have multiple users. Are you clear? And all of you guys understand a point now. What is that? What is that? If you go to home controller, is there any restriction for home controller? No. So because there is no restriction for home controller, anyone can access a home controller. Right now, tell me one thing. You are logged in as which user? Admin, correct? Admin can access home controller? Yeah, anyone can access the home controller. Watch it. Now click on manager help page. Anyone can access the manager help page, right? Manager help page. See there. To show you server admin. Staff help page. Anyone can access the staff help page. No props. Now manager home page. See now. It's not giving access. Shall I try with Venkat? I'm giving Venkat. What is the password? 654321. Click OK. Did not work. Shall I try Raju? Raju. Raju has access or not? Tell me. Click OK. Check now. Are you guys clearer? Okay, you're logged in with Raju. Next again, home page. Now you're logged in as Raju, correct? So I'll go to staff help page. See? Understood? Okay, now go to staff home page. It won't work. Why? Raju is a manager, cannot access the staff page. Who can access the staff page? Venkat. So try Venkat. Okay, password 654321. And click on the OK button. Are you clearer or not? Did you understand authentication and authorization now? Authentication happened first. Already, because the Windows authentication, when I log in my computer only, authentication is completed. If required, it is even opening a login form and asking you to authenticate yourself. The second step is authorization. Clear up. Now tomorrow, I have a doubt here. So tomorrow if I have 10 methods in my code and 8 methods I want to run in authentication mode, 8 methods I want to run authentication mode, 2 methods I want to run in anonymous mode. So do I need to write this on the top of all the 8 methods? Compulsory? You're required to write it all the top of the 8 methods. That becomes lengthy process. What you do? Go for application level now. So remove it here. Sorry. Go for controller level now. Remove it here. Place it here. Now when I place it here, this applies only for home or applies to help also? Applies to both. It applies to both. Because you used on the controller, it applies to both. Same way, come to staff controller. Remove this from here. Put it on the top of this. Applies to both. Check it out if you want. It applies to both. We did not give her home controller now. Array, we did not give her home controller. Yeah. See now, manager help page is also asking for authentication now. Are you clear? So did you understand? If I apply controller level, did you understand the problem now? Yes or not? So now to resolve this. To resolve this now, here write. Did you understand when to use allow anonymous now? By default it is anonymous only here. But if you apply controller level, if you apply authorized controller level, all action methods will come up into picture now. So in that scenario, if you want any method to run in an anonymous access, then use allow anonymous on it. Understand one thing here. Based on the number of methods, 10 are there. 8 should run in authentication mode, 2 in anonymous mode. This is the best option. It's a reverse. 8 in anonymous mode, 2 in authentication mode. Then apply only for those 2 methods. What? Authorize. Without applying on the controller and writing allow anonymous on all the 8, what is the better option? Use authorize on the 2 methods only. Clearer? So that's how you can just use. Yeah, come to staff controller here also. Allow anonymous. You see now, when I apply controller level, it applies to all methods, but I don't want this method to be in the authorized access. I want it as a anonymous access. Run again, you see. See now, manager level page is opening now because it is running in a anonymous access. Staff home page is also opening now, but manager home page will ask you for authentication, and staff home page also will ask for authentication. Are you clearer or not? Understood me? So fine. Don't do this mistake anytime. What mistake, sir? What mistake is, I want to use allow anonymous on the controller and I want to use authorize on the action method. Did you understand? On the controller, what I'm using? Allow anonymous. On the action method, what I'm using? Authorize. Did you understand me? It's a mistake. Why, sir? Why is it a mistake? Reason is, watch. See, manager homepage is opening, but manager help page opened, but manager homepage you have authorized attribute na did not work. That's why I said you it's a mistake. Don't try to reverse. Don't try to use allow anonymous on the controller level. If you use allow anonymous on the controller level, it applies to all the action methods. Then how to resolve it, sir? Oh, array. Don't do anything here. By default, that runs in anonymous access only. Never try to apply in the controller. No need. Did you get my point or not? Never try to apply on the controller level. No need. If you try to apply allow anonymous on the controller level, it will override the authorized attribute and all methods will be running off in the anonymous access only. Be careful. The reverse is correct. What is it? Authorize on the controller, allow anonymous on the action. But don't try to use allow anonymous on the controller and authorize on the action. How to resolve? Don't use it all, because by default it is allow anonymous only. Just you say, I want authorization for this. You did not say anything for this now. It's anonymous automatically. Understood my point? Okay. So if you try to reverse it, that will become a problem. Okay. So guys, that's how you just go for using the authorize and all the things. See here, I created 2 manager accounts. So what did I say? Server manager, manager 2. I have 4 staff accounts. Server, staff 1, server, staff 2, server, staff 3. Sorry, 6 staff accounts. I can specify the list of all. Did you get my point? I'm talking with you only. Are you clear? Okay. So you are trying to use appropriate things now. So can you create the user accounts now? Or you create the user accounts here. Create 2 manager accounts. Create 6 staff accounts. For manager, access should be given only to that method. And for the staff, access should be given only to the index action. I hope it is clear, all of you. Okay, try this and do it. But now you'll have a doubt here. What is the doubt? So tomorrow if I have 50, 60 staff members, writing all these names on the top of the method will become complicated. Not like complicated. Tomorrow if source code is not there, how can I modify the CS file? Not possible, nah. You cannot modify the CS file now. So how can I manage this? I'll show that in the next class. I'll show you that in the next class. Without writing on the top of every method, how you can resolve, I'll show you in the next class. Is it clearer? Okay, try with whatever I said you. Tomorrow I'll tell you how to resolve this particular problem in the next class. Okay, let's stop here. Yes, Amog, that's what I was telling you. Cookies and token based authentication will work. That's all forms authentication here. I'm not going to say JWT token based authentication in the class. It's out of the syllabus. We are not going to discuss about that at all. ఏం ఖాళీ ఉంటుంది. అది కూడా అడ్మిన్ కాల్ చేస్తే నీకు నేను పంపించాను అంతే ఆడు.